Before we went on any protest, whether it was sit-ins or the freedom rides or any march, we prepared ourselves, and we were disciplined. We were committed to the way of peace, the way of non-violence, the way of love, the way of life as the way of living. I believe that good investors are successful not because of their IQ, but because they have an investing discipline. But, what is more disciplined than a machine? A well-researched machine can make many average investors redundant, leaving behind only the really good human investors with exceptional intuition and skill. You have to be disciplined about being in the kitchen. I feel that life is short, so we should be disciplined, but at the same time we should have a good time. Yes, the pyramids have been built, but if you give me 300,000 disciplined men and give me 30 years, I could build a bigger one. Love exercised while duty is neglected will make children headstrong, willful, perverse, selfish, and disobedient. If stern duty is left to stand alone without love to soften and win, it will have a similar result. Duty and love must be blended in order that children may be properly disciplined. I think I'm a disciplined mom versus a strict mom. But also, that job, the disciplining was from birth until about 12, and at 12, I set my kids free, and they learned to become independent human beings. Now and again, you may be picking a pass or two in behind, making something happen, but when we're attacking, especially at Liverpool, I'm focusing on protection, being disciplined, being careful, worrying about counterattacks, things like that. No horse gets anywhere until he is harnessed. No stream or gas drives anything until it is confined. No Niagara is ever turned into light and power until it is tunneled. No life ever grows great until it is focused, dedicated, disciplined. The system is that there is no system. That doesn't mean we don't have process. Apple is a very disciplined company, and we have great processes. But that's not what it's about. Process makes you more efficient. I've been known to write 10 pages a day for 10 days running before I take a breath. I am not a disciplined writer. I'm one of those people who laughingly call themselves inspirational writers, which basically means someone who has no control over their own creative process. A disciplined person is one who follows the will of the one who gives the orders. There can be no compromise with war. It cannot be reformed or controlled, cannot be disciplined into decency or codified into common sense. Every league has its own culture, its own identity, and its own type of football. It's very physical in England, but technical skill comes to the fore in Spain, where everybody wants to play beautiful football. The standards are very high in Germany, too. The teams are physically strong, very disciplined, and very well organized. I haven't raised my voice for 8 to 10 years in the kitchen, and I won't have anybody shouting. If I hear of anybody having a go at anyone else, they'll get disciplined. My wife, a schoolteacher, very disciplined. If you think I'm tough, trust me, and wait till you see when the children are on the naughty step. It's hilarious. So we decided that I'm going to work like a donkey and provide amazing support for the family. I am a vegetarian and follow a strict and disciplined diet. I still remember how my father used to wake me up at 4 a.m. and make me study. He also used to take me for a walk and then always drop me to school. I was very disciplined, as my father inculcated those values in me. Now that my father is no more, I understand that you should not take your parents for granted. There are certain things about me that I will never tell to anyone because I am a very private person. But basically, what you see is who I am. I'm independent, I do like to be liked, I do look for the good side of life and people. I'm positive, I'm disciplined, I like my life in order, and I'm neat as a pin. I began the study of medicine, impelled by a desire for knowledge of facts and of man. The resolution to do disciplined work tied me to both laboratory and clinic for a long time to come. You know, true love really matters, friends really matter, family really matters. Being responsible and disciplined and healthy really matters. Let the word go forth from this time and place, to friend and foe alike, that the torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans, born in this century, tempered by war, disciplined by a hard and bitter peace. I come from a very strenuous, strict, disciplined classical music background. My grandfather, noted Carnatic classical exponent Dr. Shripta Pinkupni, was a Padma Bhushan recipient. Indeed, I would feel that an appreciation of the arts in a conscious, disciplined way might help one to do science better. If you show emotion in competition, temporarily, you'll be ineffective. If you're disciplined enough, you don't get down when you're behind, and you have a chance to create something positive. I wouldn't say I'm on the strictest diet, but I try to eat healthy, try to be disciplined, 'cause I know it's good for my body. Since self-control is vital to reaching long-term goals, befriending people with willpower could be the secret to success. Whether you're tempted to skip that workout at the gym, or you're considering blowing this month's budget, spending time with a disciplined friend could boost your motivation to maintain healthy habits. Mental toughness is a lifestyle. It's something that you live every single day of your life. When I was growing up, I was a lazy kid. And everybody goes, how did you get to where you're at today? How did you get to where you're running 200 miles at one time in 39 hours? Being so disciplined? If you're too disciplined, it can mess up your mind. You need to have that treat for yourself. Young love is a flame, very pretty, often very hot and fierce, but still only light and flickering. The love of the older and disciplined heart is as coals, deep burning, unquenchable. As a late teenager, I had some puppy fat on me, and I noticed that I could put on weight. I have always been very disciplined because my mother was very beautiful, a very pretty woman, but she was immobilized by obesity. At her biggest, she was about 17 stone, and she was always on some sort of fad diet. I think our communication strategy has been very disciplined as being a back-to-basics mayor and about focusing on making City Hall work and jump-starting our economy. I try my best to be extremely disciplined about my diet. A Swami may conceivably follow only the path of dry reasoning, of cold renunciation, but a yogi engages himself in a definite, step-by-step procedure by which the body and mind are disciplined, and the soul liberated. Disciplined governments do not engage in the economic equivalent of binge eating followed by crash dieting. I've gotten a lot more disciplined since dating Sue. Character is just another word for having a perfectly disciplined and educated will. A person can make his own character by blending these elements with an intense desire to achieve excellence. Everyone is different in what I will call magnitude, but the capacity to achieve character is still the same. Martin Luther King and Gandhi were not people who failed in self-respect. They were people of hope and great courage, and their courage was discipline. Whatever work you do, you think, are you doing this for the good of the nation? That's the basic training. The other basic training is discipline. Your life should be disciplined. The other thing they say is what work you get, do it well. My films are the expression of momentary desires. I follow my instincts, but in a disciplined way. There couldn't be better parents than mine, loving yet strict. They disciplined with love. A child without discipline is, in a way, a lost child. You cannot have freedom without discipline. I have always thought that humanity was animal-like. The Confucian theory was man could be improved, but I'm not sure he can be. He can be trained, he can be disciplined. For every disciplined effort there is a multiple reward. None but an armed nation can dispense with a standing army. To keep ours armed and disciplined is therefore at all times important. I can work hard and be disciplined like a soldier, but I could never reach their level of fitness. I always wanted to be independent. I worked at a few odd jobs as a teen and, when I was in my early 20s, I soon realized that I disliked unfair bosses. I knew I was disciplined and motivated, and that I would work best when I was self-employed. The richest inheritance any child can have is a stable, loving, disciplined family life. I need to remain humble, stay disciplined and keep training. That's how I will continue to be a champion. When I'm working, I need to be pretty disciplined, but I do like to enjoy my food. I like to keep it fresh and wholesome. Preparing your own food can be a great way to unwind. At 14, I was the most disciplined guy around. I would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and run 5 miles, and then go to school. Sometimes I would run behind the school bus, and the kids thought I was just crazy. I knew what I wanted. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.